On my hand here is the latest Kase filter. This is the Kase Black Mist 1.8 filter. And today's video will be a short one to look at the effects of this Black Mist and who is it actually for. I'm Richard and welcome to ZP Productions. I'm a portrait photographer and I occasionally do some videos. So today I'll be reviewing this Kase Black Mist 1.8 filter. I will say that this filter is provided to me by Kase and SLR Revolution to try out. So, I'm going to compare it with what I've seen so far, and I even have the 1/4 filter on my table here. So firstly, the Black Mist filter, the purpose is actually to soften out the highlights, to make it less harsh, overall soften the general image, and additionally, it reduces a little bit of blemishes on the human skin. Now, this is the 1.8 version, and if you go online to see, 1.8 version by Kase is the lowest one. 1.8 version is also the lowest one for Tiffen. So I'm assuming that this is equivalent to Tiffen because I saw the effects from the Tiffen side. It looks very similar. And the 1.8 version is actually the very lowest strength you can get for a Black Mist filter itself. Now, before I start talking about the image quality, let's look at what the physical parts of things are, This is the filter box, of course, and inside here is the plastic case to hold the filter. The filter itself, and then you separate up. Like all Kase filter, it comes with a metal ring to mount on your lens, and then the magnetic ring together with the glass is one piece like this, and then you snap it together and mount it on your lens. The advantage of this system is that you can easily add and remove filters, and the disadvantage is very simple. It results in a relatively thick filter here, and what it means is that if you are using a wide angle lens, the amount of filters you can stack can be quite limited. Now, one thing that has improved, if you ask me, is that the 1.8 version writes the name of the filter in front rather than inside. So if you have seen my 1/4 review, the Black Mist 1/4 is written at the back of the filter itself. So this is a lot easier to spot and also to see what filter is actually mounted on my lens. And really, that's about it for the physical part of things. I mean, it's a filter, so there is really nothing much to talk about. So now let's talk about the image quality of the filter, or should I say the effects that this filter will give you. Before I start, let's take a look at this short little video, and if you have seen my channel or follow my channel, you will have already seen the video already. Now, I want to thank Ryuki, my model in this video here. She helped me out and I filmed this short little clip just to show you the effects of the filter and of course for some other lighting stuff. Now, firstly, the Kase 1.8 filter. The biggest takeaway from the video is that it results in all the lights in the scene to glow. It makes all the lights in the scene less harsh. It also results in a nice soft little glow, very cinematic effect. And overall, the highlights are very nice to look at if you ask me. But if you also notice that firstly, the filter doesn't affect the autofocus in any way. I was using a Sony A7S III for the video and the Sony 35mm f1.4 GM. And you notice that the autofocus is not affected in any way. When I move my lens in and out of the subjects, you see the focus working properly, so it doesn't affect autofocus. And next, you also notice that there is almost no perceived loss of sharpness in terms of the skin details. When I move in really close to the subject, you see that the details are all there. And that is what I really noticed for the 1.8 filter. The 1.8 filter really just affects mainly the highlights, the glows, but it doesn't give you the very nice soft touch in a stronger Black Mist filter like the 1/4 or the Dream filter. The amount of detail lost is really little in most ways. In fact, just to verify this, I shot a few shots out of my window and I can show you no filter, with filter, and with the 1/4 filter. You notice that firstly, the amount of glow is different. All the highlights and their glows are different. But if I was to zoom in really, the no filter with the 1.8 version has very little difference in terms of detail loss. The no filter and the 1/4 difference is actually much more noticeable. You can see the details are being lost in the 1/4 edition. And what I did further was to do a few photo shoots with it. I did a beach photo shoot, I did a night photo shoot, I also did a studio photo shoot. So for my beach photo shoot, which is with Reiko Maru, and she was doing a character from Tekken, you can see that in the beach shoot, which is a bright daylight, when I was shooting the filter, it doesn't result in any softness in the details itself. In fact, if I was to zoom in on the face, you can see all the details on her face. So really, it doesn't give me the same effect as the 1/4. There is almost no perceived loss of sharpness to me. And when I was doing my in-studio shot, same thing here. I only noticed that the parts of the crown that are glowing have a little bit soft in touch. But if not, the details on the subject face is really as it is. There's almost no perceived loss of details to me. So this is a very common theme I noticed for the 1.8 version of the Black Mist filter. It seems that for the 1.8 version, the strength is just enough to glow the highlights, yet doesn't change your image in any other way. And this may actually be really useful. What happens is that if you really just want the cinematic touch and you are really using a more vintage lens, which means that the amount of details isn't that a lot, or for example, this lens here, the 1835, when it's used wide open, it's not like super sharp. I don't really need any more loss in sharpness or any more softening effect. What I need is the highlight glows, and this filter can really give it to me. As such, this 1.8 filter with my Sigma 1835 wide open or some of the vintage lens wide open will be a perfect pair for the purpose of photography and videography, especially for video, because to do that glowing highlight, I'll say as I tried applying effects, it doesn't look as good as actually using a real filter. So I highly recommend if you use a real filter, you really get a very nice glow effect itself. Now, if you notice, I said just now, I did 3 photo shoots. What happened to the last one? It was a night shoot, and I need to notice one thing. Now, firstly, there is no loss in details or anything, but most importantly, this filter is very prone to flaring. It is a mist filter, so any bright light shining into the glass will result in flaring. And you can see the flare is very, very strong here. By the way, I mosaiced the face for this photo itself because the subject has yet to edit the photos. So where does it all lead us in the end? Firstly, the 1.8 filter is only for highlights mainly. Very little effects on the details. So if you are just looking to soften the highlights, the 1.8 filter is for you. Now, if you are looking to soften the general image of your photos or videos, and you're using a very sharp lens, I would recommend you to get a 1/4 version instead, because that will actually have a stronger effect on the general entire image of it. So the 1.8 version is definitely very useful if you're just having that nice soft cinematic touch. But beyond that, I'll recommend the 1/4 for really the Black Mist filter effect. I really do enjoy using this, and this is probably my default filter because I'm not the kind that like softer images. Maybe when I do certain portraiture, I will take out the 1/4 version, especially if I use it with a very sharp lens. But if not, I think that the 1.8 version is more suitable for most things. It gives the nice soft glow. And if I was doing night photography, the 1.8 version is what I will choose because it gives me the glow without having loss of any sharpness. Because at night, the noise already results in loss of sharpness, so I don't need any more loss of details. What I need is the nice glows in the highlights, and this filter will give me that effect. That's about for today. I hope you enjoy this short little review of the Kase Black Mist 1.8 filter. Bye bye.